At $500, the Dali Spektors are the entry to its brand. Does this speaker live up to its name?
Let's find out. The Dali Spektor series attempts to combine hi-fi performance and cost-effectiveness into one. Creating the Spektor series was a big challenge for Dali. To create a speaker they were happy to listen to and not break the bank, they spent many hours refining materials to achieve their goal. Let's see if they delivered. Welcome to Hi-Fi. I'm Marcos, this is Kurt, and today we're talking about the Dali Spektor 2s. The Spektor 2s are a two-way bookshelf featuring a 25mm soft dome tweeter, a 5¼ inch wood fiber woofer, 6 ohm, 84.5 dB sensitivity, and rated at 25 up to 100 watts. At first glance, the Spektor 2s I kind of find have a bit of a vintage look to them. They have this nice wood cabinet that's actually a vinyl wrap. Once you remove the grill, you see this leather texture, and then Dali's classic wood fiber cone, and a nice tweeter.
So looks wise, I think they're okay, which can be expected at this price range. It's got a normal, what you'll see is a vinyl finish on there. It reminds me of just traditional speaker design in the 90s.
The Spektor 2s are also available in a variety of different finishes. We have the walnut here, black ash as well, and a white.
I know with some Dali speakers, you're supposed to use it only with the grills on. With this one here, I see it's just your regular fabric. So I'm sure you're able to use it with or without. In this case though, this is one of the few speakers I prefer the looks with the grills on.
Overall performance-wise, for the Spektor series, I quite like the Spektor 2s compared to the 1s. The 1s actually feature the same driver array. They're just a little bit smaller. With the 2s, they made that cabinet a little bit bigger. You get a little bit better bass response. Overall, I found the Spektor 2s to be pretty well balanced. Kind of classic Dali, a little bit more emphasis on the bass, but mid-range and highs were still really nice and detailed.
I don't have too much to add to that. I feel exactly the way how you feel. That's it. Overall, it's a well-balanced speaker, and surprisingly, a lot more neutral than I thought it would be. Even the overall imaging and soundstage was a lot more precise and surprised me. A lot more than expected.
When it came to our dB volume test, around 60 decibels, normal talking conversation level, the Spektor 2s I found were pretty present. They weren't super impactful, but it's kind of to be expected out of a little speaker like this.
When playing at higher volumes, I think at 90 decibels, really that's the most that the speaker will give. Anything more than that, it just implodes.
The Kleenex box folds its.
No, at the higher volumes though, it's still quite composed. As soon as you reach, I would say anything past 91 decibels, I think that's really at its comfort level. Once you're reaching in the 90, I think we reached a peak at 97. At that point is just, I think it's a little bit too much for a speaker like this. The one thing is though, at around that 90 dBs, everything is still well composed. The bass is defined. You're still getting a really good presentation at that volume level.
I was pretty surprised on how well the Spektor 2s perform. Even though they can't really reach really high SPLs, they maintain their composure pretty well at higher listening volumes. When it came to listening to music on the Spektor 2s, as always, we listen to a wide variety. The two songs that stood out the most for us, the Skull Eclipse, Angels Don't Mind. One thing I love about this song is the impactful bass, and the Spektor 2s did not disappoint. For such a small bookshelf, I was pretty amazed on how much bass they had.
In this track, kind of the vocals and the drums take center stage, which this is clearly defined in the speaker. One thing that I really did notice, there was a spot where they're playing with those, what do you call those?
It's almost like a clicker or something.
Yeah, kind of like a clicker, or those metal things you put on your fingers. Does anybody know what it is?
Little cymbals.
Comment below, what are those things? I know in this track, it's supposed to be very distinct and sound very upfront. And a lot of times in I would say, it's either higher end, on a higher end speaker, you can really hear the distinguish between, I was talking about in the background, and that those things in the front really separated the two, just creating that nice depth.
The second song we listened to, a pure classic, Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, Dream a Little Dream of Me. What I love about this song, it really kind of took me there. So the horns sounded extremely clean, and their voices, you could hear a lot of detail and texture in their voices.
Sometimes what I would hear is, depending on the speakers, they almost sound like blended together. In here, you can really hear the distinguish that they were, close, but they were still all distinct. At this price point, the texturing of the vocal, a lot better than what I thought. And that was another surprise in this speaker. One thing I really love about this track is it seems like it's just the two of them, and there's nothing else around them but those two. And because this track, the way it was recorded, it didn't have all that dynamic compression that they use today, and it was just so raw. And because it was so raw, and the speaker was able to kind of keep that feeling intact without I don't know, I guess messing it up. And every time I listen to that track, it just it has that emotional sense, and I'm glad it still comes out in a speaker like this.
Yeah, one of the things I love about that track as well, it has this like crazy intimacy between Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, where, yeah, kind of like you said, it almost seems like they're just center stage and they push the band way back. It seems like it really transports me almost like into an old New Orleans smoke-filled club. We recommend the Spektor 2s for a small to medium-sized room. It all depends on how much bass you really want to get out of the system. Mid-range and highs are pretty well detailed. The nice part about the Spektor 2s, they're widely accessible, and they come in at a really good price point.
Even though it does have a low sensitivity, they are easy to drive. So when you're matching it, you can look for a lot of amplifiers like the Cambridge, and I think it would match well. I don't know, maybe we should try it. And a lot of stuff from either when it's NAD, from the power, even the power node, if you want to hook up a simple system, and just add these speakers, you can get really good results. Overall, when I think of the speaker, I'm glad they're able to create a speaker at this price point that gives you that kind of refinement, and it's a lot. So when I think of, well, say what you would put together an old mini system or something like that, and the fidelity wasn't that great, but when you think about it, you can put a pretty good system for in around $1,000 or under.
Thanks for watching our video today on the Dali Spektor 2s. If you have any questions about the Spektor 2s or want to see any other products, leave us a comment below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.